Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Dicing with Death. Brian, you are in the hull of this little boat. Your partner has left you here, and you are. How long? What are you doing down here?
Guess the plan was to stay here all night and poison the water whenever it shows up.
Okay.
But once I'm like locked in my coffin, I'm probably having second thoughts.
I
You
think.
know, I'm a fucking paladin. I'm devoted. I'm dumb.
Okay. The. A few hours pass, and then you hear footsteps, the moving of things, and there's some very loud thuds on the dock or on the ship
Can I see
as
light
various.
streaming through the boards or through the
No.
cracks, maybe on the trapdoor overhead? Is
Um,
light tight, or do I
it's
think
not
that
light
it's
tight.
like
It's still dark out. Maybe
okay?
the sun is about to break, but from where you're lying, you can't see anything. But you hear
Okay.
heavy thuds. You hear footsteps. The sound of water sloshing, and the muttered grunts of stock workers loading up containers.
I wait until the noise subsides.
Okay. There's about half an hour of things moving around, and you hear from the dock the sound of an authoritative male voice saying, "Get that shit on there! I got plans later with the missus. I don't want to miss them." Um, Everything gets loaded up, and then you hear different sets of feet coming on board, and uh, then the sound of iron-shod boots stepping onto the dock. I need to look up a rule really quickly before I continue, though.
A rule? There's no rules.
There are rules.
There's rules to this game?
All sorts of them. Okay.
I probably don't even have room to do anything other than lie down,
Yeah,
correct?
it's pretty much like that. The iron-shod boots step on the dock on the boat and goes, "What the? Shh, guys, quiet. There's something here." It goes quiet for a moment.
I loosen a dagger and I guess prepare an action to attack anything that opens the door on me. Because I'm like right below the trap door, right? Like if they open it, I'm just like,
Well, where have you? Is that where you want to be? It's a longer
how much room is
ship.
there to move around? So if I can squeeze my way into like a dark corner of
Yeah,
the
it's a
hull,
25 foot ship, so you could scoot way down away from this trapdoor, or you could be right underneath it.
I'll
Your
scoot into
call.
the darkness.
Okay. Okay. If I was a if I was a good aligned creature, and I felt an evil radiating from beneath my ship, what would I think it was? Okay.
A
So
bad
the
omen. I mean, he's never felt anything like this before. I would guess
no,
he's
but it.
probably feeling my aura of dread. He's feeling his -1 to AC,
Hmm.
so he's like off put. But it's not like he's.
Yeah.
It's not
He
like his skin is burning. It's like he's getting a -1 to his AC.
he gives a shiver and goes, "I think there's sanguine around here, or Schwagwan around here. Be very careful and let's hurry. This does not bode well."
Wagwan. Does that mean anything to me, or is that in
You,
character?
you
Or
know, you have no idea what that is. You hear oars go into the water, and he whispers loudly, "Quickly, men, quickly, let's get to the castle. I think there's something wrong." And the boat propels through the water, skipping lightly over it. A few minutes later, you.
yeah, that's probably about when I think I strike. So I'm gonna go
Oh,
test the trapdoor a few minutes later when I think we're on open water,
okay.
and just like see if it'll open. See if yeah, I mean just try and open it a crack.
It opens a crack.
All right, daggers sheathed. I unsheath my bastard sword quietly and hold it in my right hand.
Okay.
And with my left hand, I brace on the trapdoor and burst from below deck and try and slay the captain in one fell swoop.
Okay.
So I don't know where the captain is. I guess let's roll initiative.
You have
Surprise for
surprise.
both parties.
Yeah, no, you definitely have surprise on this. The trapdoor pops open, clatters to the side. You bring yourself up. You see 6 oarsmen, 3 on each side of the boat,
You
and
said 4 oars. Oh, so 4 on each side. So there's 2 that aren't running. Or there's 2 more than
honestly
I was
just didn't
imagining.
remember how many oarsmen there were. So
Okay, I was imagining 4 oars total.
yeah, 4 oars total, but it's a broader ship, so 4 oarsmen, so 2 on each side. And
Okay,
at the prow of the boat, which is behind you as you pop this up, you pop it up, you see the 2 guys in front of you, 2 guys behind you, and the captain at the prow of the boat, all the way at the front, which is behind you at the moment, who looks around bewildered and reaches for the saber at his side, but you have the initiative.
So I try and leap upon him. Do I have surprise bonus?
You do, +1 to hit for surprise, but you do not get a back attack. He does manage to turn and look at you before.
20. Can I? Do I have enough time to use both hands with this blow?
Yeah, totally.
Or like opening the trapdoor doesn't take a hand.
I mean, you can knock it open and then grab the sword.
Is he wearing any armor, or is that clear by 5?
It does clear by 5. He is wearing a breastplate, but the breastplate only gives him 14 AC.
8 points of damage as I bring my mighty blade to bear.
8 points of damage hits him, but does not kill him. He lets out a as the blade cuts through the the bronze
Saving throw
breastplate.
versus death.
Fail. Give me 2d4 and
Okay,
it's not that great.
Much.
Where's my books?
Where's probably not much.
Yeah, but if you knock him down, he'll fall into the water because he's on the prow of the boat. What is
2 severity 4?
Slashing weapon. Location 2 is right leg. Leg struck, minor bleeding. Okay, nothing big. And an initiative roll.
Oh yeah, that was surprise round, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
14.
Okay, you go dead last. The captain gives a shout. Help! Help! Assassin!
I said, don't you dare stand up from those oars.
He takes his saber, swings it at you. What is your armor class?
13.
Ooh. It strikes you. What is saber damage?
Not great, but still, I don't want to be taking any damage.
No one ever does. D6 plus 1.
That could take me down.
You take a whopping 4 points of damage from the saber.
That almost took me down. So who do the rowers obey?
Let's see. They are surprised. They don't have any weapons. Let's take a look at morale modifiers. One creature was surprised, -2. NPC has been treated poorly is correct. Two of the oarsmen immediately leap off the boat into the water to go for swimming. 2 of the other ones pull up the oars. The ones in the back pull the oars up and move to the back of the ship, getting their oars as bats and holding their position. Your turn.
Yikes. I'm very last, aren't I?
You are very last.
Okay. Bodes well.
14 is a hit. That is exactly all you need.
That was last round, wasn't it?
I'm sorry. That was your initiative. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So 4 is a miss, but I get a second attack.
Give it.
which is a critical.
Give me a damage roll. Yeah.
7.
You slash him to bits.
Okay, I think I just like remove an arm or something
He
like
does
that.
fail his saving throw if you want to go to the crit table, but he's dead anyway. Anyway, you cut it. Okay, no big effects, but you hack his abdomen to bits. His lower intestines fall out as he tumbles into the water.
All right, and
The oarsmen
took
fail their
a bit
next
of
morale check and jump into the water as well. The boat is still drifting in the same direction, but you're about 100, 200 feet away from the castle.
I continue rowing to shore. So I pull the 2 extraneous oars and try and see if I can grab a pair.
It's a little awkward to get by yourself, but you're a tall man with a large wingspan.
Yeah.
And you already
I
have
like
the
row
momentum
one
of the boat.
side and then the other and
Okay.
figure it out.
You find yourself making it to the keep, no problem. Let's see. There are...
Yeah.
Back on shore, there are shouts, and you see a couple of
I gave it a
hoplites.
couple minutes, so I figured I was a ways from.
Yeah, but the guy was shouting pretty loudly, calling assassin, assassin. And the town was a little on guard already from your previous events and the jail breaks. So you see on shore the hoplite guards as the sun is coming up, dawn is breaking. They're on shore waving their spears at you, but you're well out of range.
I'm going to take a break from rowing to poison the water with the nightshade.
Okay.
And so I'll get out on the deck and try and find the water barrels, pry them open with a dagger.
There are 10 large water barrels aboard.
Yeah, so I'll distribute my pouch full of nightshade evenly amongst the 10 barrels.
Okay. The boat eventually comes towards the dock, and on the dock you see...
I hope that I get my poisoning done before I come within sight of the dock, but...
I mean, you can see the dock the entire way.
Okay.
On the dock is a slave who is fast asleep, literally just like lying out on the dock, passed out. Yeah, that's the only person you see on the dock as you approach.
So I try and bring the ship up to the dock.
Yeah, it creaks up to it, and as it does so, the slave wakes and rubs his eyes, gets to his feet.
I slide overboard. I can't swim, but I'm only wearing studded leather. So I'm going to roll off the side of the boat opposite the slave and disappear into the water.
Okay, you splash in. Where is your shield?
It's like on a strip of leather over my back or something like that.
Cool.
It was poisoned. I haven't used it in combat since it was changed from a poison receptacle to a shield again. And I'm still a little bit skeptical of it.
Wouldn't do to scratch your hand and then wield the shield. Okay, you slip into the water.
I doggy paddle my way around the island in the darkness.
Okay, you can hear the slave saying, What's going on over here? Blood! And then you hear his feet on the dock as he runs inside the lighthouse keep. You easily doggy paddle, and there's large rocks that you can use to propel yourself and move yourself, so you can get around the island however you would like.
How far is the island from shore?
1,000 feet.
How rough are the waves?
Pretty still. But you do not know how to swim.
All right, I pull myself up against the rock and look to the docks in my proximity. Do I see any other rowboats? Or is it pretty empty?
Yeah, the dock on the lighthouse had a few other ships on it, or a few other boats. There were...
1,000 feet. That's not even that much. I'm going to attempt to swim to shore, even though I don't have a swimming proficiency. It sounds like it's not all that.
Okay.
Gee, I think in calm weather I can just sort of doggy paddle my way to survival.
Sure, untrained swimmers are fairly happy slot while they... Are you unencumbered?
I'm barely unencumbered.
You can manage a rough dog paddle in relatively calm waters, which this is. If the waters are rough, the current is strong, or the depth is excessive, untrained swimmers may panic and sink. If weighed down with enough gear, they sink like stones. Okay, so you can manage a rough doggy paddle. So you can swim to shore very slowly. If you beeline straight as take the closest distance, it's 1,000 feet. If you want to hit a place that wouldn't be the launching point of the fair maid,
No, I'll try and circle around the docks and like land even outside the city if that's a possibility.
sure, it's going to be a long doggy paddle.
Yeah, I'm okay with that as long as the waves don't get big and
They don't. The it seems to be a calm morning.
yeah. So I'll follow the current and paddle my way west of the city, even if I can. If I can.
Swimming at half normal speed or treading water, the character can maintain this for a number of hours equal to his Constitution score, although he will have to abandon most of his gear. After a character swims for a number of hours equal to his con, a con check must be made for each additional hour.
What was that about the gear?
It just says if you're going to be swimming for a number of hours equal to your con score, you will have to abandon most of your gear. That's if you're treading water or half normal speed.
I do have studded leather armor. Fuck, that map I have is going to be soaked. But other than that, I've got like blades.
Shield on your back and a sword at your side.
That's about it. I've got jail keys stuffed in my trousers somewhere.
Yeah.
And
but you're not encumbered, so that's a good thing. It's just really, really awkward going. This is not a comfortable.
So I think I go with the current and just sort of drift for a few hours.
The current pulls you to the south side of the city, actually.
I'll take it.
Okay.
And I let my piss be cleansed by the salty sea.
Okay, 12, 4. As you are swimming, a small pack of sea otters come up to you and bump into you and poke around and look at you kind of confusedly. But they otherwise leave you alone. It takes you a couple of hours as you get pulled with the current and you're not very good at swimming. The sun eventually comes up and you find yourself somehow making it to shore. You are now on the west side of the city, where the north side of the city has like this large cliff and the west side of the city is more sandy beaches. So you pull yourself up onto a little sandbar just before the coast and manage to make it to shore. You are still within the town limits, and you are spotted as you walk up by a whole bunch of dockhands who are looking at you a little confusedly. One of them comes down to the water to help you and goes, hey, buddy, are you okay? You fall off a boat or something?"
I give him a belch of salt water. And I sort of brush him out of the way as I stagger onto shore.
"Jeez. That guy's a jackass," he says to his friends as you walk past him.
A 17 charisma jackass. And I push my way through the crowd and...
Okay. As you push your way through the crowd, you hear the patter of feet, and you notice some people are pointing at you. Looking, you see two partisans bopping through the crowd in your direction.
Oh, God, I can't do it. I'm gonna like try and set up an ambush as quick as I can. So if there's like a building I can hide behind and draw my sword.
Yeah, the dock district is tons of warehouses and little buildings all over the place.
So I'll slip into the nearest alley, hand on the hilt of my sword. I'm actually going to ready an action to cause fear on the first guard that I make eye contact with.
You hear people say, "Wait, he's over here! He's over here! Around the building!" And pretty quickly, the two hoplites come round the building, their breastplates shining in the morning sun. You do have a prepared action, so...
Yeah, so I look down the first one, whoever's taking the point. braver of the guards, and I say, "You meddle in matters beyond your comprehension.
The guy,
Cower in fear, peon."
he stops, takes a few steps back, drops his spear, and just bolts.
I look swiftly to the other and I say, "Choose wisely and follow your comrade," as I roll initiative.
Okay, give me an initiative roll.
13.
That is faster than he is. Partisans are slow.
Does he have it ready to like strike? This is still before he's even acted, so
Yep.
I just like slip in within his guard. 10. He's wearing armor.
He is wearing armor. You clatter
So
against his
I close
breastplate.
with him, sword brought to bear, and I'm just like staring down at him with my blade. His comrade pushing his way through the crowd to get out.
He backs up, lowers his spear at you, but is definitely, you can see his eyes wide with fear. He doesn't make an attack, but he waves it in front of him very threateningly and starts to retreat into the crowd. The crowd, having seen this one guy run and hearing the clash of steel on bronze, gives you guys a wide berth, and they all back up. But there's definite shouting and jeering and pointing and whooping in the direction of your alleyway.
Lay down your arm, fool, and flee. And I make 2 disarm attempts against his spear. So I make attacks against the spear. D20 minus 4, I think.
Yes.
And 11. I don't think spear has it. Does it have AC?
No, I think it's all you got to do
So I
is.
think the first might actually do it. We make opposed strength checks.
That would
There are
be.
modifications, but we're the same size, so I think it's just opposed strength.
He fails his strength check, so all you got to do is pass yours.
Okay, I'll assume that's it. No, we both fail, so we lock blades.
Okay. A disarm works very much like a block, but the character attempting the disarm must roll against AC 20, while the intended victim of the disarm rolls against AC 16. Okay, so you both make opposed attacks.
Okay, so I missed. I made a 15 against AC 20.
Okay.
Which is a miss. And a miss. So I whirl my blade around and I stay 2 squares away from the guard or whatever. I stay out of his reach, swinging at his spear, and he pulls the spear out of the way.
Anyone involved in a disarm that is using a two-handed weapon receives a 4-point bonus to the target armor class for purposes of the opposed roll.
Okay, so I got a 19.
You need to make a attack. You need to hit AC 16, and he needs to hit AC 10.
Mm-hmm. But I missed both.
Yeah.
I had a 15, which is not a 16. So next round, initiative.
He continues to back up into the crowd while you make your disarm attempts, and he just backs. If you want to.
I guess I won't pursue after I make those disarms,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll disappear into the crowd and make my way towards the southern gate.
I mean, the crowd is keeping as far away from you as possible. So
Right.
you
so
can.
I move then as fast as I can if he's withdrawn. At the end of my round, I move as far as I can.
Okay, yeah.
And I sheathe my sword if it feels like he's not pursuing me.
He's not pursuing you. The crowd parts before you as you move through the city.
I'm not encumbered, so I'm moving pretty quick. I'm hoping I'll make it to the southern gate, which I've actually never seen before they hear word that shit's gone down.
Isn't the southern gate the gate that you've been exiting from each and every time? Or the exit that you came
I
through?
thought there was a western gate and an eastern... I think I came in through the... I think there's a western gate that I came in through and I scoped out on the first day, on like the very beginning of the campaign.
No, you came in through the docks on a ship.
Yeah, and
there's only one
gate.
No, there's
only
just
one gate.
Yeah, because to the west. Yeah, it's like a southwest gate.
Okay.
Yeah, there's only one road out of town.
Yeah, so I guess I make my way through the streets out of town.
Okay. You hear whistles being blown by guards all across town. It seems like the whole town is up in arms. But you have managed to slip away, and there are no guards spotting you, and there are people who are looking at you strangely as you dressed in this studded leather, tall man, big ass sword, dripping wet with seawater. You make your way through town. Oh, God. Are you going to survive this? Where is... Okay, let's do some. Ooh, that's not
City.
in
Do you have
the.
do you have a city encounter table?
I do not have a city encounter table. That is the one thing I did not make. Okay, you push your way through the town. People are gathering in small pockets, wondering, oh, is he back? Is the murderer back?
They can get more creative than murderer.
Well, you
That all I am to you.
see. You go through the city. You do arrive at the
So I try
gate.
and like as sneakily as I can, although I'm 6'4" and
Mhm.
running through the streets looking like a crazy person.
You arrive at the gate to find it shut. There are two hoplite guards at the bottom trying to talk to a group of travelers who are trying to head out. Explain to them, no, 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 the gates are shut. No one's to leave until the all clear is given. And the merchants are saying, but the cabbage will go bad by the time it reaches Hoylesboro if we don't leave now.
Fuck your cabbage.
Yeah.
That's not Tyrus. That's the guard. Tyrus sheepishly slips into an alley as soon as he realizes the gates are shut.
Okay.
Tries to blend in a little better.
You move through this alley and you find yourself coming
Is
toe
it
to toe with a very large bouncer who is standing in front of a doorway in this alley. He looks you up and down and goes, mm-mm. Move along, buddy.
I move along and I like slide past him
Okay.
swiftly and as quietly as I can
He
and slip around the corner and into the next alley and
Okay.
try and disappear into the slums.
All right. You move around and eventually do find yourself in the slummy section of town. Yeah. There are whistles blowing across town. After an hour or so, everything seems to die down.
Yeah, I probably hide between some buildings somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
crouch down in a dark alley, and hope that no one comes upon me.
Yeah. Some street urchins come upon you now and then, children, random whatevers, but the alleys are filled with all sorts of horrors. You come across many dead dogs. You come across some people eating a rat that looks like it died only minutes ago and it hasn't been cooked yet. There are beggars. There's people
I
starving in the
chase them
streets.
off, and I
Yeah.
eat the rat myself.
I guess you can't get diseases, but it doesn't taste good.
Don't tempt me, or I'll eat the dead dog too.
Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should do something. And I know you're an engineer and you don't agree with that philosophy.
Barassi.
But okay. But yeah, you have successfully escaped notice for the time being. What are your ambitions?
It's like what time? The sun is shining. What is this shit?
It's bright
like-
out. It must be. Sun rises at 5, so 6, 7, 8. It must be like 9 or 10 now. You're still pretty tired from your swim. You know, you're not used to swimming.
So I'm trying to find a spot to rest.
Yeah, you find a spot in the alleyway.
I chew on my rat bones, crouch in my alley, scare off any urchins that come upon me, and try and get some rest. I don't think I'll fall asleep. I think it'll be a pretty restless day.
Okay, how long do you rest?
I don't know. I think the day. I think until nightfall.
Oh, you spend the whole day just chilling in alleyways.
Yeah, I'll move if I feel unsafe, but I think I'll be safer at night.
Okay. Okay, some hours later, you're hanging out, resting. You've scared off plenty of people that have come across you, and a man dressed in black silk approaches you. He is wearing At his side, a short sword, and he has a dark gleam to his eyes. He looks you up and down and says,
Look up at him from the gutter.
Well, 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 look what the cat dragged in. Who are you in my little corner of the world, little fish?
Little fish, big rats. You may call me Bellows. And I stand to my feet and look down at this man. Does he have any weapons?
He's got a rapier at his side.
Is this the same? This is not the same rapier wielding douchebag as before.
No. He takes a step back, not realizing quite how tall you were before you stood up, and says, well, you are a giant of a man. I presume this ruckus is all about you?
What ruckus? It's been a nice, pleasant afternoon, if you ask me.
It's morning. And you smell like wet dog.
I shrug.
I don't know what little corner of the world that you've crawled out of, but this is my territory. And if you want to lie low in my territory, you have to pay the price.
Ain't got much to pay.
Well, what do you have?
Clean steel. Well, salty steel. You haven't introduced yourself, little man.
I am Wrath.
I spit some blood into the street.
I am
Well,
Wrath,
Wrath.
and if you have nothing to offer me, you ought to get out of my territory before one of these little kids lets someone know that you're here.
Is that wrath with a W or with an R?
With an R.
Well, what does it take to shut these kids up?
Gives you a look. A gold. They are a hungry lot. Does not take much to feed them.
How about the keys to the jailhouse? And I reach in my trousers and pull out the set of keys that I have. I think it's 3 keys on a ring.
That will do very nicely. He upturns his palm.
They'll probably be changing them pretty soon. So make copies while you can. And get these kids off my ass. And I sit back down in the gutter.
It was nice to meet you, Bellows. He gives you a nod and disappears through the streets. You can spend the rest of the day in the alleyway, and no one bothers you after that. You are completely left alone in your little corner of the world. You do hear commotion inside the building that you're leaning against at some point, but it's just people coming and going. You are around occupied buildings is all.
Yeah, I think I wait till nightfall.
Okay. Night comes. Where do you go?
I think I slink my way out of the alley. And I guess deleting those jail keys. God, I have no cash. The man robbed me.
Well, you did murder tried to murder some people. You have
That
killed
was
people
after.
now. You did kill
That
some.
was
You killed that
after.
one hoplite guard that early on. Remember during the jailbreak?
Yeah, that was after I was arrested. When I was incarcerated, or when I was arrested, I was guilty of no crimes that I was aware of.
You were guilted of being evil.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Well, okay.
So night falls. I slink out of the alley and into the streets.
Where are you going?
I think to the wall. I was going to, if I had money, I may try for a city escape, like slink into a tavern and buy my way out. But I think I need to escape the city.
Okay. Are you
I'm
going to
gonna.
leave Mouse behind forever?
I hope not. I want to try and find him, but I don't know where he might have gone.
Headed for the city though, or headed for the wall?
No, I'm yeah.
Hmm.
Where would Mouse have gone? Because Mouse and I escaped. I have no idea what Mouse would do in this situation. Like I don't know where he's from. I don't know if he'd stick around the city. He doesn't. He can't have any cash. I didn't have any cash.
Hmm.
He probably got out before I. I think I'm gonna head back towards the dock district and find a seedy tavern.
Which one? The one that you were in before, or just any one?
Which one was I in before?
It didn't have a name that you saw, but there was the tavern, the one that you and Mouse hung out in all day before you left.
Yeah. All right. So I'll return to that tavern. I can't even
Okay.
remember its name, but hopefully I can stumble back into it.
All right. Yeah, you find it again down along the docks. You step in. There are the same woman is doing the same dancing routine she was last night. The same sailors are down there pawing at her again, shouting the same jeers as always. And you see Mouse leaned up against the bar, eyeing down a couple of people who seem to be giving him a hard time. At some point, as you approach, he opens his mouth and sticks out the stub of a tongue that he's got and goes.
I poke my head between the shoulders of the two men who we are facing off with Mouse, and I go,
They shudder and take a look at you. Go. You know, old man, maybe you're
I just
not so
stand
hideous after all.
I stand uncomfortably close to the two men, just letting my stench emanate throughout the bar.
They back off, and Mouse gives you an approving nod.
Uh, Things have gotten a bit sloppy. I take a seat at the bar, but the package is delivered, and I give him a wink. And I sort of look down. I think I took a spear wound. What hit me?
The saber.
The saber. Okay, so I took a sword.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm bleeding. But I rinsed in the salt water.
Yeah, it's fairly disinfected, except for all the sea otter poop that got in it.
Yeah, but that's natural diseases. I'm immune to that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wait, didn't we replace your immunity to disease with cause disease? No, we
No, we
replaced cure light
replaced my
wound.
cure
Yeah.
disease with cause disease.
Okay.
There's paladins are immune to disease and they can cure diseases. Two separate abilities.
Nice.
So my plague knight or whatever this evil paladin is
Mm-hmm.
has immunity to disease and cause disease
Okay.
and cause fear and an aura of dread. And paladins are OP.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. A single class fighter would still beat a paladin in a toe-to-toe fight at level 1.
Yes, unless he got lucky with the. Actually, no, you're right. If it's like if they're the same alignment or whatever, so none of the paladin bonuses.
Yeah. Okay, so Mouse.
Actually, at any level, a single class fighter probably beats paladin.
Maybe
Unless
with
you start getting
spells. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
It's questionable. Mouse looks you up and down and gives a shrug.
I think I lean in close and I say, I think we need to get out of here or get some cash. City life's tough when you're, well, a wanted man.
Comes the awkward laughter from Mouse. He motions for you to follow him, steps outside and into an alleyway and produces a large purple root. It seems that he did not use all of the... Oh God, what were we calling that?
Nightshade.
Nightshade. It seems that he didn't use all of the nightshade roots.
What do you... It's in the water.
Rubs his fingers together.
Money?
and hands you the nightshade.
I nod. Is this it? All right. I head back to that apothecary.
It is closed.
Yeah, I figured as much. Can't even. I don't even think we got names.
Mm-mm.
So I'll wait out until morning. I'll
Okay.
slip into an alley behind the apothecary shop and be there as soon as he wakes up.
You and Mouse spend the night in the alleyway together. It's a cold evening with the wind coming in from over the sea, over off the sea. You guys, Mouse ends up kind of shivering next to you for warmth. His clothes are not that thick, without a house to keep him warm and a sheep to lie under. He's a little chilled.
Well,
But
the Book
morning
of Veracity
comes.
clearly states that a man may lie with his beast as long as the beast is female.
Oh, good to make that distinction. Um, Morning comes, and with it, the proprietor of the apothecary. He actually comes in through a back door, fairly
So
close
does
to
he,
where you were standing.
so he
So,
sneaks up on me.
no, I don't know if he sneaks up. You guys wake up in the early light, and you see this. You see the same apothecary trotting towards you, and then he
I
stops as he spots you, and puts his hand on his belt and says,
I rise
"Beware!
from my crouching position,
I
towering
know the
above his head.
secrets of the world. I can burn your face off in an instant."
Awfully confident, aren't you? It's good to see you again. And I reach into my trousers and pull out a nightshade root.
Is that a euphemism?
And I approach the apothecary.
You see him raising a flask, and then a look of recognition passes his face. He goes, "Oh, you! I had given you up for dead."
I say, I don't remember what our original deal was, but at this point, I'd like to exchange this nightshade for cash.
Hmm.
The flow may not continue, but it grows wild on the hills to the west of here.
Yes, yes. Stay out here. I will go grab you some coin. He fumbles with some keys, enters his shop, shuts the door behind him, comes back a minute or two later with a small bag of silver coins and hands it to you. And says, "I trust I needn't repeat myself that you were never here."
I give a nod. I say, I was never where. And
Good
I
man.
start to walk off with the pouch of coins.
Okay.
Um,
As you start to walk off, you hear um, a clattering noise as you look back over your shoulder and you see Mouse, who was trying to whap the apothecary in the back of the head as he went inside, but got his staff caught on the door, and then
I jump to the action and roll
struggled
prevention.
and like slipped in the muck in the alleyway. And give me
Thanks.
an initiative roll, because Mouse is getting you in trouble.
At least he's got a big ass root in his hands.
Okay, initiative
I
roll.
roll a 10.
Somehow that actually goes first.
Shit. So I dive into the doorway, slip a blade from my belt, and bumble.
You bumble the attack. Mouse regains his footing, gets his club or his.
So I'll try
walking
and
stick.
I'll try and get in. Has he unlocked the building, the apothecary?
The apothecary didn't get a chance to shut the door when all this happened.
Okay, so I'll force my way into the building and tried to get around him and stick a knife between his ribs, but I just I
doesn't-
missed with the dagger. But I'm inside his building, I assume, or I hope.
Yeah, you managed to get inside the building a little bit. He was still kind of in the doorway, trying to no, back you fools, back. Mouse gets his quarterstaff and tries to reach over your head to whap him. Misses wildly, clatters against the stone wall. The apothecary grabs a vial from his belt and hurls it at you. Rolling a 1, Failing his saving throw
Thank
versus death,
goodness.
the vial smashes on the door frame above him. So as he went to hurl, it just like went too high, and a sizzling sound is heard as smoke emanates from the man, as bits of liquid drips onto him. He takes 5 points of acid damage
Glad that wasn't me.
and crumbles to the ground with as he
Take a step
burns his own flesh with the
back.
acid.
Am I inside the building past him or
You
on
were
the
in the
outside?
doorway, like struggling to gain hold in the building.
Yes. So I think I stepped past him into the building to get away from the dripping acid.
Okay.
And Mouse is probably still out in the alley.
Give
This
me
poor man screaming in agony.
a saving throw versus.
Don't do it. Don't make
Give me
me
a saving
fall
throw versus
unconscious.
death.
I fail.
Okay, you take 1 point of damage from
I
as
dropped to 0 HP.
you try and get inside the building. A little bit of acid lands on your neck, and it's just the pain is too much. You slip into unconsciousness.
Fucking Mouse.
Okay.
And I pass out in the doorway of this apothecary's shop.
All right. Luckily, the alchemist or the apothecary is already dead.
Yeah.
So you wake up for the third time, like 3 hours later, 4 or 5 hours later. You're in the apothecary. You wake up to the sound of someone banging on the front door saying, "You must open the shop! My wife, she's got the shingles! Please, please, open up! She needs her remedy!" And you notice that your belly has been bandaged, your neck has been bandaged. Wait a minute, hold on. He's got a fucking healing proficiency. If he can get to you within a round, he can actually cure you for D3 HP of damage, can't he?
Yeah, roll a proficiency check.
Oh, yeah, no problem. Never mind. You wake up.
Next round, roll D3.
You wake up at 2. No, 1. You can't heal for more damage than you were dealt. Okay.
You're correct. Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
he I don't know, treats the acid somehow.
Yeah, he.
Maybe quick thinking he gets like a base to neutralize it.
I mean,
like,
yeah. This is an apothecary shop. He grabs some limestone, some powdered limestone, and something else, and just tosses it on you and washes it out. And you come to consciousness with the back of your neck burning pretty badly. You will probably have a scar there for the rest of your life.
Sweet. Too bad it's not on my face.
Okay. Then you don't hear the guy pounding on the door yet. He arrives a few hours later.
I shut the door. I assume Mouse is inside.
Yes. Yeah, the back door is already shut. The dead apothecaryman, well, dying. He's bleeding out right now. Actually, no, he's at 0 exactly.
See, if he's still screaming like the minute or two later when I'm functional, I'll stab him and shut him up. But
No, he's not screaming. But he's got like his face is frozen in a look of horror. But his breathing is shallow. Mouse starts rummaging through the guy's things.
Rated quick. You're not as sneaky as you look.
He shoots you a dirty look. Goes through behind the main counter, pulls out a lock box, sets it on the counter, and points to
How much gold is in my pouch? Or how much silver is in my pouch for the
You've
nightshade?
gotten 20 silver from the nightshade. Okay.
So then I don't really give a shit. I let Mouse raid the shit out of this place.
Okay.
And I think let's just reconvene on the other side of break. Seems like a good place to stop.
Sure. I just want to note that he runs through the shop, gets a whole bunch of ingredients. You don't know what he's picking up. But he does steal a key off of the unconscious apothecaryman and opens the lockbox, pulling out dozens of gold coins and scores of copper coins, which he takes for himself.
Yeah, I think I'm not too concerned with that. I've got enough spending cash that I'll be fine. And he certainly earned it. Good old Mouse.
Okay, let's come back on the other side of break, and we'll see what other troubled Mouse can get Ryan out of.
The Adventures of Mouse.
And his bodyguard, Bellows / Tyrus. See you guys in a few minutes. Bye bye.